Hello students, welcome to the B.B.A 5th semester business law session. In our previous class, we had started the discussion of the bailment. We have studied the meaning, the important elements of the bailment, the types of the bailment, and also the duties and the rights of the bailor. Now we'll come to another part, which is another a 10 marks question from your examination point of view. The duties and the rights of the bailee. So what are the duties and the rights of the bailee? So you have got here the 5 important duties and 5 important rights. So we'll try to discuss this, and this is a 10 marks question. Sometimes it can be for 5 marks, like here write the duties of the bailee. Now when this question appears, so first you have to mention who is bailee in the bailment. So bailment here has 2 parties, bailor and the bailee. The person who receives the goods from the bailor is called as the bailee. The person who receives the goods from the bailor for any purpose, so that person is called as the bailee. So that is, you have to remember, the bailee will be having the possession of the goods. The bailee will be in the possession of the goods, but the ownership is with the bailor. So he is not the owner of the here goods. He is just in the possession of those goods. So the keeping that in view, we will try to understand what are the duties and the rights of the here bailee. So first we will study the duties. Duty to take care of the goods bailed. Whatever goods are bailed with him, here the duty to take care. You have to take care as if those goods are of your own. So what care you apply for your goods, you have to give the same care to the goods bailed. And remember, you are not the owner of the goods, they are in just possession. See, you have to be very careful, diligent. You should not be negligent here towards the goods. Because of your negligence, there must be no damage to the goods. So here, see that you will take due care. So thinking that the goods are of your own, but in reality you are not the owner. But presuming that you are the owner of the goods, as if the goods belong to you, what care would you have taken? The same care you have to take here of the goods bailed. Now for example, X who wants to go on abroad, he gives a certain valuable here jewelries to the safe custody of Y, the neighbor, and the Y here takes it, and for the security purpose, as he has done for his goods, he keeps those here the jewelries in the bank locker. So the same care, he has also kept his own jewelries in the bank locker, and also the goods which are bailed, mainly the jewelry belong to X, are also kept in the bank locker. So he has taken due care, what we say. So the due care what he has applied for his goods, here the same care he has given. So that is his first duty. Duty to take care of the goods bailed. Duty not to make unauthorized use of the goods bailed. So this is the second. As you are not the owner of the goods, so remember this aspect. You have taken the goods for some purpose. The goods are with you for some purpose. You have to use those goods only for that purpose. So for example, here you have taken here mainly your friend's vehicle here for a function for 3 days. So you have to use it for the function. You have no right to make an unauthorized use here, giving it on higher basis for the 3 days. You cannot do it. It is unauthorized use. So do not make unauthorized use of the goods bailed. So that is the thing. Because you are not the owner, for some specific purpose you have taken the goods. So you have to use those goods for that specific reason. So for that specific reason you have to use it, and you are mainly entitled to do it, but not for unauthorized. So where you are not authorized, you cannot use those goods. So no unauthorized use of the goods. Not to mix the goods of your own with the bailed goods. The bailee should not mix his goods and the goods which are made. The goods which are bailed. See, this happens sometimes. If mainly here the bailor and the bailee both are having the same businesses. Usually, for example, A is an oil dealer. He says that he will be here out for 15 days, and when the oil will come by the transporter, take it, receive it and keep it in your godown, and after I return I will take it. Here B agrees for it, and after the departure of A, the goods come, the oil. The same oil business is being run by here B also. So he receives those goods and keeps it in his godown. But he should see that he should not mix the goods of his own with the goods which are bailed. So this should not be done. You should be very careful. Now the question comes, if you have mixed mainly the goods, what is the alternative? If the goods can be separated, here you have to bear the separation charges. So in case if you have mixed the goods, you have to bear the separation charges. So whatever charges is there for the separation of the goods, you have to bear it. The bailee has to bear it. It is his duty. If he cannot here separate it, then whatever mainly the price of the goods is there, here he has to pay it in the form of the compensation or reimbursement to the bailor there. That is, if you mix the goods, separation, if they can be separated, separation charges. If not, the compensation has to be given. So this is, so the first thing that is the duty imposed is you are to not to mix the goods here with the goods which are bailed with you. The bailee should be very careful. That is the third one. Duty to return the goods bailed on the accomplishment of the purpose. For what purpose it is given? So it is after the accomplishment of the purpose, the goods must be handed over back. Now you have given here the car for servicing. Immediately after the servicing is over, the garage person calls you that your mainly the vehicle is been serviced, you can take the delivery. So it is the duty of the bailee to return the goods. So because they are not his own goods, it has been mainly delivered to him for some specific purpose, and once the purpose is over, for some purpose it has been here given. Once the purpose is over, here he has to return it back. This is mainly what we have got, a duty to return back the goods. Then duty to return the secret profits that are made from the bailed goods. The last one. So any secret profits made. So the first thing we have seen is that no unauthorized use of the goods should be there. In case if the bailee has made any secret profits out of here the goods bailed, it is his duty to return those secret profits. So these are mainly the 5 duties which are imposed on the bailee. The bailee has to adhere to these duties. So the goods which he has received here from the bailor, here it is his duty to see that these rules or these duties are complied. Whereas here along with the duties, the bailee is shouldered with certain rights also. He has been given certain rights. Like the first right is right to claim compensation for the loss caused for non-disclosing of the defects. So earlier we have seen when the bailor delivers the goods, whatever defects are there in the goods known to him, he should disclose it to the bailee. If he has not disclosed it and any loss that is caused to the bailee, he can claim the compensation. For non-disclosure of the facts known, non-disclosure of the defects in the goods here are not here disclosed. For that the loss is caused to the bailee, he has the right to claim the compensation. To claim expenses. So in the preservation, conservation of the goods bailed. So any expenses incurred that can be claimed from the bailor. So it is here when expenses are there. Now the previous example I had given you that here Y had deposited the goods, here the jewelries of X in the bank locker, and he bore the expenses of the bank locker, the bailee, and it is the duty that he has the right here to mainly claim it from the bailor. So once delivering back the goods, here he can claim that expenses. To claim the expenses incurred in the here mainly the care of the goods. So whatever he has spent in preserving, protecting, conserving the goods, here that expenses can be claimed by the bailee. Right of lien. This is one of the special right which the bailee has. Right of lien is lien means retaining the possession of the goods until any due or is there from the bailor. So bailee has to receive here certain amount of, for example, he has not received the expenses which he has incurred in the preservation of the goods. So at that time he can keep the possession of the goods until he receives his expenses. So anything that has to be received from the bailor to the bailee, here till that he can retain the goods, and this we call it as right of lien. Right of lien. So lien is retaining, but the thing is that if the goods have been parted from the bailee, he cannot claim this right. So the most important element of the lien is that the goods must be in possession of the bailee. If he has parted with the goods, he cannot claim this right. So this element has to be remembered. So keeping that in view, the right of lien, if anything is due from the bailor, he can retain the goods with him. He can adopt for this right of lien. Right to claim indemnification because of defective title of the bailor. So if there is any defective title, the bailor is a person who has delivered the goods, and if here the bailor has a defective title in the goods because of which the bailee has sustained the loss, and in that case he can claim the indemnification from the bailor because of the defective title. Because of the defective title, here the bailee has sustained the loss. So in reality the bailor does not have the right to bail the goods. He is having a defective title, and if the true owner here mainly has filed a case against the bailee and he has claimed here the damages, in that case the bailee has sustained the loss, and this loss has to be made up by the bailor who was having that defective title. So indemnification can be claimed by the bailee. Right to claim indemnification because of defective title of the bailor. The last one, right to claim extraordinary expenses. So if there are any extraordinary expenses in preserving, conserving, protecting the goods, in that case that extraordinary expenses can be also claimed. For example, A and B are neighbors. A, while going abroad for a month, he has given his pet dog to B for mainly the looking after the pet, and he has given certain amount for the expenses of the here mainly the food and everything of the dog, and B has accepted it. And here, but when he returned back, when he goes to abroad, we find that B, who is keeping the pet, it immediately falls ill and the medical treatment has to be given. This is an extraordinary expenses that has been incurred. So this can be claimed from the bailor. Right to claim the extraordinary expenses if anything is there here in the case of the goods bailed. So these rights are available to the bailee. The duties he has to perform, and these rights are there available. The most important is the right of lien. You can get 2 marks question on this also. The right of lien. 2 marks question can be also asked in your examination. What you mean by lien? So remember, lien is retaining of the goods here by the bailee. If anything is due from the bailor, but once he has parted with the goods, here he cannot claim this right. The element most important is the possession of the goods must be with the bailee. That is the most important right he has got. So the 5 rights and the 5 duties, and this question can be there for 10 marks. 10 marks question it is. So you can prepare on this, mainly the rights and duties of the bailor we have discussed, the rights and duties of the bailee we have discussed. The last one we will be taking is discharge of the bailment. How the bailment comes to an end, that is another 5 marks question. That aspect we will be taking in the next class, and I will be concluding this. Then we are taking pledge and agency, remaining other 2 specific contracts. Then we have got sale of goods act, and those are very small acts. In 2 or 3 classes we can wind up the mainly these topics there. So in the next class, the thing to be discussed will be about the discharge of the bailment, and if also possible about the pledge also we will be discussing. So this will continue in the next class.